I'm recording now. This is the one.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah, same.
no! Oh man! Oh no! Podcast after all.
But there was a podcast after all. Yeah, against all odds. Despite hours of really squandered prep, which you'll hear a little bit about soon, and audio errors that looked like we were not going to be able to record a podcast at all, we did so. But it was very late, and by the time we finished, it was almost 1 a.m.
We sound like it.
And you can definitely tell.
That's all the context anyone needs.
That's all the context you need. With that,
Enjoy this week's Important If True. It's October 12th, 2017.
And this is Important If True.
Oh my God.
for Idle Thumbs, I am Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Brecken.
Jake, I can't keep it going, but I'm Jake Rodkin.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Good job. I witnessed something terrible before we started recording this podcast.
Oh no!
Was it
And-
3 hours of preparation to record
Well,
this
it was
podcast?
3 hours of I would say unsuccessful attempts to prepare this podcast. But that is not what I mean. Although I would say it is directly relevant. And I'm going to introduce this with an email from Emma Lynn. And Emma Lynn writes, "Kids like to eat weird things. When my brother was little, he used to dip everything in ranch dressing, most notably apples. When I was between 5 and 7 years old, I used to eat Cheetos Puffs dipped in chocolate pudding, which my husband has dubbed poo doodles." Well, I didn't remember that was in the email.
Yeah.
I also used to take nacho cheese Doritos and bite-sized chocolate chip cookies, stack them, and eat them. And I got other kids to do it too. Did you find folks ever eat something regularly as a kid that you look back on and think, what the hell was I thinking? Or even, I wonder if that's still good. Thanks for cataloging all of the important things. Emma Lynn from North Carolina.
Oh, wait, do I know what you're going to talk about
Yeah,
exactly?
There's a very good reason that this email popped into my head just now. It's
Oh.
because for several hours straight preceding us pressing record on this podcast, I watched Jake some kind of
It was a little surreal.
dark compulsion,
Yeah.
some kind of like twisted, perverted self-flagellation. Our office manager, who relocated to Los Angeles, sent us a gift.
Or was it a curse?
Definitely sent us a fucking monkey's paw of what is it? Jelly Belly
Gourmet
candy corn.
Yeah.
So
It's not actually like a Jelly Belly jelly bean. It's just the Jelly
No,
Belly
it's
company.
actually- it just
it's
looks like candy corn.
The
It
Jelly
is
Belly
candy
company makes candy corn. Is
Yeah.
it candy corn?
I don't know because I didn't have one, but I know who did. So we got these in the office. They must have arrived around noon or so. Jake, you immediately poured out like 30 of them into your hand.
Yeah, I love candy corn.
Yeah. And then ate some and said, "Ugh, this is disgusting. This is gross." And then you poured them, from directly your human hand, you poured them back into the thing. But then over the next several hours, you went back to that well and sort of plucked a few out and put them in your mouth. And you were like, "This is disgusting. What is this? It's like chemicals. We need to figure out what this is." And then kept eating them. Anyway, Nick arrives to do the podcast. Jake is like, "These are disgusting. These are really bad. I'm going to have some more to figure it out." Nick starts joining in, and you are like, "I'm going to apply the power of science to figure out what this is." You start eating them for hours. Jake is going back to this well. He's like, it's like chemicals. It's like ammonia or something. What is this?
It's like some kind of chemical that
It's
like makes me want to eat more of these, maybe.
Nick postulated it was vanilla, which I have to say, as someone who's been hearing someone say I've been eating chemicals all day long, vanilla wasn't
Vanilla's
what I
not too far off, but it tastes like it's like the artificial sweetener, like the Diet Coke version of vanilla or something. Actually, you know what? Fuck. It might actually be
Stevia.
the vanilla taste that is in like a vanilla Coke. It might be like the gross chemical vanilla that tastes like it could be like if someone mixed vanilla and Windex or something, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Good Lord. I have a feeling that so this podcast, it's like 11 p.m. right now, and we're really late. We usually start recording this podcast at like
At 8 in the
p.m.
morning.
Or 8 in the morning, yeah, depending on. And I have a feeling that if we had not recorded this podcast, you would still be eating those things right now.
No, I would be home asleep. But I might be waking up in the middle of the night wanting a midnight snack and then going, oh, these are disgusting.
Try one. It's like it is like that classic thing where you smell something gross or you taste something gross and you're like, this is awful. Here, try it.
Smell it.
Except you're just doing it to yourself.
Yeah, oh no, I got to the point where I was like, what if I eat like 5 at once? Can I get the gross taste more cleanly if I eat that many?
Good.
Yeah. A Gross Taste Cleanly by Philip K. Dick.
Nick looked up the Amazon reviews for the Jelly Belly candy corn, and people were like, these are gross. They taste like chemicals.
5 stars.
Yeah. I can't stop
Verified purchase. I buy these every month. They're disgusting.
Yeah.
I've never actually liked candy corn. I resisted the siren song of the disgusting candy corn by not liking candy corn.
Oh, then maybe you'll like
begin
these.
with.
If you like candy corn, these will be disgusting to your mouth. But
They'll be
maybe
disgusting but compelling.
But maybe though you'll just like them. You're like, oh,
Maybe I'll
I've
find-
never
These are
liked
the
candy
gourmet
corn.
candy
Maybe I'll
corn,
find them
right?
delicious
So-
and never want to eat them ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one way to find out.
Man, this actually reminds me of a different email. Greg Knight wrote, you were wondering if there are any store brand candy bars. Well, I don't know of any. There is a company called Go Max Go that makes vegan knockoffs of popular candy bars. For instance, Butterfinger is Thumbs Up. Twix is Twofer. Almond Joy is Mahalo. Milky Way is Twilight. Three Musketeers is Buccaneer. And Snickers is Jokers with a Z.
What? No.
Jokers.
Jokers.
These are all also freeware font names.
Man, that reminds me, Nick, you got on this whole jag about how maybe the Jelly Bellies gourmet candy corns were like vegetarian variants, and that's why
Well,
they
because
taste like
Brock's is the
chemicals.
classic candy corn, and that has like beef
It's like a
gelatin
beef.
in the way
Really?
that like beef
Ugh.
gelatin is in like everything, and you just don't know it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know
You take
that.
like a Tylenol, it's got beef gelatin in the capsule.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my friend.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, beef gelatin is like used
Tylenol
in
is
everything.
not vegetarian?
Oh, when Mad Cow was a big thing, it was like, oh, don't take a Tylenol. It
Can you
might
get-
give you Mad Cow, which is just like the most
That's
insane
super
pharma
fucked up.
possible.
Can you buy like vegan Tylenol? What is
don't
the
know.
purpose of beef fat?
They may have by now they may
Or
have
whatever.
weeded it out of current
Yeah.
Tylenol, but it
Yeah.
certainly is in a lot of strange
gluten-free
things.
Tylenol.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Nick's information on the contents of Tylenol gel capsules
Yeah.
may not be the most current.
I know it's used in other things, but yeah.
I've been saving actually animal fats that I've from cooking. This
in,
is like
in
a
jars around your house.
In one jar in my refrigerator. This is like a theoretical endorsement territory, but I might as well mention it now. When you cook up like bacon or any kind of meat, you pour off the fat, and then I sometimes strain it through a coffee filter if there's like extraneous stuff from the meal that I'm making in there. And you just pour it into a glass jar and keep it in your fridge, and then you always have like fat that's more delicious than butter or olive oil or whatever in your fridge, ready to go, and it melts like instantly. Super handy. So think
Nice.
about that. It's not just for Tylenol. Anyway, Max writes, "Hey Thumbs, I've recently had an existential crisis regarding a meme, and I was
Ugh.
wondering if you guys
Sorry, you just sailed over that, but that's okay.
I was wondering if you guys could solve it for me. The meme goes something like, what if 1111 wishes never come true because someone always wishes that everybody else's wish doesn't come true? The reason this is so troubling to me is I can't figure out how it would work. If one person wishes all the wishes come true and another person wishes none come true, how does the universe decide which wish comes true? Is it based on the last person who wished? If Jake wished all wishes don't come true, and a split second later Nick wished all of them do come true, would all of them come true? Or do they cancel out and those two people's wishes just disappear into the ether? Further still, could I wish that from now on every single person's 1111 wish doesn't come true no matter what? What would happen after that? Could I have a monopoly on wishes? I'm baffled and would love some clarity. I love the pod, and I'm always eager for the next episode. Max.
This is like shotgun times infinity or something. You know what I mean? Like,
mean?
well, no, like when kids just call things like times
you're
infinity,
I
you're
got
like,
shotgun.
forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah, or like
times infinity plus 1. Yeah, no, that's true. I have a more fundamental question. What is an 1111 wish?
It's a wish you make at 11:11.
What makes that more powerful than a wish
yes,
wished
right.
at any other time?
It's just, what does anything that a bunch of kids think is real is real? I mean, at some time in the past, a bunch of kids wished that at 11:11 you could make a wish and a wish would come true, and the power of their belief in that turned it into a meme.
Huh.
That's how a meme is born, Chris.
Oh, I see. The meme fairy grants your wishes at 11:11.
Yeah, but first though you have to wish for a meme fairy to exist.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, a meme does gain its power through like volume of.
I thought you were about to say through virality.
A meme gains its power through virality. The awesome power of virality makes your memes come true.
Yeah, a meme is a meme.
So this is
A meme is a
basically-
meme is a meme.
A meme is a meme is a meme, of course. So this is basically just someone thought 11:11 was sort of a mystical, cool-looking time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure
I always
there's
thought 12:34 was a cooler time.
that's dorky. Nerd.
What? That's dorkier. Why? What is dorkier about that than 1111?
I don't know.
I wish we weren't talking about this. No, but
Well, oh my God!
what the fuck?
You said that
Jesus.
at 11
Christ.
minutes at 11 seconds into the podcast.
Oh, it came true. Anyway, next question.
God.
No, I just
You
couldn't
scared
Oh my
the
God, my
shit out
life
of
just
me.
passed before my eyes. Jesus.
No,
I thought you were
just-
gonna point. There's just gonna be a fucking guy over there.
Yeah.
Like, that was really scary. Chris.
Wow.
I looked over and literally, as you said
And then
that,
I died.
the timer turned to 11:11.
Yeah, I know. Oh man. I'm so afraid right now.
Yeah.
Well,
My
now I
body
get to,
just
now I can put this to the
died.
test because I wished that your wish didn't come true.
Oh, okay.
And I did it right after. So too bad, fucker. We're talking about it forever.
Oh, all right.
You know what I wish people wouldn't do? Is cast wishes by tossing change into bodies of water. I feel like this is something that like wish creep has seriously. There's been like wish inflation has happened over the course of my life. I feel like I remember as a child, like my memory of this phenomenon when I was growing up, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this.
I wish Nick's wish came true.
I remember, like, I thought that basically decorative fountains and places that seemed like they might have some sort of
Magical
like
properties.
significance, or like you could theoretically like in your mind imbue them with magical properties. That's what had coins in them for wishes. But I swear to God, at this point, any standing body of water, like anything that isn't the ocean, basically, but like any enclosed body of water, whether natural or man-made, is just full of coins all the time. Even if it's like an actual habitat where fish live, where like animals are in it, it's still, there's just a layer of coins.
At
on the
11:11,
bottom.
someone wished that fish like coins.
I find it despicable. I think it's a disrespectful act, and I hope that every 11:11, I wish that none of those people's wish came true.
I find this really offensive, Chris.
Why?
Because one, there's somebody whose job it is to pull all that coinage out of
Yeah, and
there.
I bet they're.
You want to put that person out of work?
You're
Chris,
going to
with
put
your
that guy out of
coin
work.
wish?
There's no-
That's just tax money. That the government's just actually there's a
government's
fountain in
reaping
France that makes like $100,000 a year.
But that's in France.
What does that mean?
I think we all know what that means, Chris.
No,
taxes, France.
Okay. The guy who's cleaning out the coins, nobody's fucking full employment is to clean the coins.
I don't know. It sounds, according to
out.
you, like it's a real big problem that everyone's putting coins all over the place. So I think that,
If there isn't, there should be.
Why don't you think about those workers before you cut throwing coins in fountains? Think about the income it generates.
I don't know, man. I think it's
People
bullshit.
like it, Chris. It's something people like to do. Generates work, generates income for places in need. Who cares about some fucking fish?
I think it's time to stand up for the fish.
You
That's
think it's
all I'm
bad for
saying.
the fish?
Yeah, it's bad for the fish.
What's
You're
the worst that
throwing-
happens? They just get a little,
I don't know. They try
little plunk on their head, and they go, "Oh, what was that?"
Like nickel poisoning. I don't know. I mean,
Nickel poisoning.
there's
Why would they get nickel poisoning? We're the ones carrying it around all the time.
well, we don't swim in it. I mean, if you had to like imagine if
Okay,
you were
think
to
about
swim,
think about this, Chris. What if you were like a kid and you were served a fish and you were kind of bummed that your parents served fish because you don't like fish that much? But then you cut into it and there's like an exotic coin. Think about how stoked you'd be,
coin?
and it was
I don't think-
1111. You know what you would say right
What
then?
if
You
you
would say, "I wish that this was the last 1111 wish ever made because it's the best one."
That's true. What if you found $11.11 inside of your fish?
You would go, "Geez, coin wish inflation is out of control."
Well, it is.
My assumption is that at some point one person made a wish, regardless of what time it was,
Yeah.
that said, "No one before or after me will ever be allowed to make an 1111 wish," and the results
Oh,
of
and that's why
1111
they're
wishes are
busted.
erased from the timeline.
Maybe that's why all the fucking fountains and lakes and aquariums are filled with coins, because all the 1111 wishes just got backed up to infinity because of that one person who ruined it all for everyone, and now people are like desperately
Oh,
Yeah.
so you
finding
Just trickle
any
down
so
wishes.
means
You-
they can to cast wishes.
you found sort of the point from when you were a kid to now, somewhere in there when that coin flood happened was
Yeah, all I
when
have
some
to do
idiot
is-
wished a meme to be different than it is.
Exactly. All I have to do is find the meme violator sometime during my childhood, and once I know who violated the meme, I can then backtrace to when body of water wish inflation
Jesus.
really took off for sure.
Get me the memetics department.
Yeah, exactly. Meme forensics.
Meme forensics is going to be real, dude. That's not real,
It actually basically is.
but it's not on
already.
TV yet.
It's not on TV yet, but it's definitely a.
So it's not.
It's a
cool.
thing that I feel like, I mean, given just realities of our lives and our political reality, actual respectable reporters have had to engage in meme forensics over within the last year, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a new reality. Did you have anything to say about violators?
There was a segue in there.
Yeah, I tried to give you one.
I didn't know how to segue into violators from there. It was so tough. That's why I started trying to talk about TV shows, but then I still
Oh.
couldn't get beyond it. Because, I mean, when you think about violators, you think about TV.
I don't actually know what violators are.
Whoa! Okay. You don't know what a okay, what?
No, I have no idea what
What?
you guys are talking about, and I saved me saying that until we were on the air because I don't know what the hell
Okay,
a violator is.
well, I guess
And you guys
Well,
are
you
talking
see-
about violators
you
all
see,
night long as
a
if
meme
I know.
violator is a
Uh-huh.
malicious human being who corrupts the true intention and spirit of a meme with an
No,
overly
okay.
literal definition, such as to ruin
Right.
the good-natured wishes of children everywhere.
Yes.
violator.
How do you not know what that is?
Violator is maybe the best term in the advertising industry. A violator, I think it's also known as a snipe in print advertising.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Wait, how does it work in print advertising?
Okay, so what?
I guess you have to explain it
What
first.
a violator is an element inside of an advertisement or other sort of design that is meant to just basically destroy it to get your attention. So like a magazine cover that has the little like corner splash that's like and 13 beauty tips. That's referred to as a snipe usually because it's like a little thing that snips in from the corner.
Okay.
But it's also referred to as a violator. And like an example of a violator is like a for sale sign that then has like offer pending slammed over it.
Yeah.
But this is also used in TV.
So wait, okay. I think I did. I was aware of the TV version of it. It's when people like walk on screen and like.
Yeah, it's-
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, or in any website during the popularity, like the height of the popularity of World of Warcraft, where the fucking dancing orc would appear in the bottom
Oh
corner
my
of
god!
every
I
web
forgot
page.
about that.
Yeah, total WoW
Oof.
violator.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when basically the cast of Castle shows up and crosses their arms in the
Oh,
corner
that
when
is
you're
the-
trying to watch
yeah.
Lost.
That is the
Got it.
most classic.
Yeah, where, like, a camera
violator
spins
is
around,
two
two
people
people
coming
walk
from
in.
opposite
Yeah.
sides
Yeah.
of the screen, meeting up in the middle, crossing arms, and then back to back
And then it's like-
against each other.
Yeah,
and then it's
our
like
CW
Thursday
show
at
is
9.
on.
Yep.
Yeah, Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah,
But violators have a long and storied history of destroying other advertisements. Basically, like any junk mailer that you get is basically just all violators on top of one picture of a house. Yeah.
That's good.
So that's
The-
what,
I mean,
that's what a
that's terrible.
violator is.
Yeah.
That name is so good.
Yeah, it's
just
great.
what does it do? It just fuck you,
It violates
violator.
you.
Oh, you're watching
Yeah.
TV, violated.
Yeah.
Fucking House MD's got his arms
Yeah.
crossed in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an incredible sort of bit of honesty in industry jargon. Like it's amazing to me that the people whose job it is to create these things have that level of self-awareness, because I'm so accustomed to like
Oh, it's just a helper.
Yeah.
It's got some
yeah,
stupid
it's,
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an informer, you know, or I don't know, whatever. Like
It's a
I'm
fucking
so,
violator.
yeah. I mean, just the current version of all that shit is like the tech industry, you know, in terms of like
Yeah.
a sort of creative tinged industry that deals with like mass communication and mass
It's
media.
either a really friendly
but-
name, or it's like, oh yeah, we'll throw up that Motoroto Morph Boy Bite with Bullfly. Like it would have some just total, you know.
Well, sure, right. But the tech industry, everything is like intended to sound like empowering and positive, and
Even internally.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I guess I don't really know. I guess I've never actually.
It's
Obviously,
all
I've
just
never worked
boring.
at a tech company,
It
so I
always feels
don't-
like it's just like a container.
yeah, I guess.
Well,
I mean, but
we'll
I
put a
don't think-
container
I don't
up on
think
screen that contains a violator.
Violator would just. I can't ever see like the corporate culture of a place like Facebook producing the term violator.
You could see
Because
MySpace
no-
producing a violator though, because they probably did.
I mean, I guess the other difference is that the ad industry is like very, I think, internally insular, whereas the tech industry
Yeah.
loves to like splash all of its stupid terminology and like ambitions for the world publicly,
Right.
Because it's positioned
Yeah,
as
with our
altruism and
with our new rebrand, Twitter is going to change the world with dynamic violators.
right, exactly, yeah,
Get verified.
that's happened, yeah. Twitter's dynamic violators are already a fact of life. Anyway, did you when you were going to research the history of violators?
The
did you
history
come
is
up with-
very short. The history is
Yeah.
basically in print ads, people slapped a thing on it and called it a snipe, then someone called it a violator, then everyone called it a violator. And in TV, they only call them violators because they are just, that's all that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked at a graphic design company in high school, and I remember no one called them violators there. It was always a snipe.
Huh.
And then when I
I'd
heard the
never
term
heard that one
violator,
before.
it cracked me up.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I only ever knew of them as a TV phenomenon, but obviously now that you mention it, I recognize what it would be
Yeah.
in other forms. Yeah.
It's just the attention getting stupid thing on any like 30% more
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Is the internet violator Cold War still going? Because for a while there, it was pretty common to like navigate to a news site and a fucking guy would like parachute onto your story from
Yeah.
the sky. Man,
It seems like the way that sort of secure and insecure content gets mixed and the way that ads get injected, you have to be on a relatively shitty site to have that degree of it. But like it's like Google sanctioned like ad violators. It feels like people still skirt the edge of like the farther down the page you scroll, the more likely it is for like a little like cash register banner ad to pop
Yeah.
up from the bottom,
Yeah.
you know, or
Yep.
like. But it's
man, that's
but yeah, just the era of the flash based like guy parachuting down. It seems like it's less and less, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you try to like watch an NFL stream illegally, you'll find yourself deep in the violator war, and you'll have to then click through all the violators to see then all of the violators on top of the NFL stream.
Yeah. I saw this crazy tweet a few days ago that was someone basically saying, I feel really bad for this journalist who like worked hard on this story and then it was covered by this. And they had a GIF of loading a news article on a page and you see the story for like 3 seconds and then there's just like a pile of mud that basically slaps down on it. It just looks like feces, and then a car like skids across it and like peels out and sprays shit everywhere, and it just covers the whole page. It was the most, I would say, impressive and like intricate violator I've seen in quite some time.
It got you talking about that article though.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say like no passive agreement. You shouldn't accept that.
I don't know, what should I say?
You say fuck you.
Fuck you.
That's right.
Well, should we take a break?
Yeah. Now that we
Yeah.
have violators out of the way.
True. This episode of Important If True is brought to you by Quip. Affordable, elegant, well-designed.
That's what a Quip toothbrush sounds like. That was the early part of this episode.
True.
Was actually we all had Quip toothbrushes in our mouths, and that's what you were hearing.
Yeah, now our teeth are so fresh and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you go to tryquip.com/thumbs, you can try it yourself with $10 off your first brush head refill. Quip toothbrushes send you a brush head refill every 3 months so that your bristles are always in great shape.
It's also a very nice looking toothbrush. It's very svelte.
It is a svelte toothbrush.
It's a good svelte Quip.
Get your own svelte Quip.
Svelte Quip.
Svelte Quip.
Get
Like,
the boop boop boop.
Get it at tryquip.com/thumbs for $10 off your first brush head refill.
Good.
Just think about it.
I will.
This episode of Important If True is also brought to you by Warby Parker.
Oh.
Yeah. Prescription eyeglasses and sunglasses sent to your home in a variety of styles with free 5-day home try-on. Get 5 different frames, 5 different prescriptionless frames sent to your home so you can try them all on in the mirror, take selfies of them, pick the one you like.
Show your friends, walk around, see how people react or don't react, positively
Exactly.
or negatively.
Yeah.
And then grab the person who walked by and say, wait, let's do that again, and put it on different frames and walk past
Pretend
them
I didn't
again.
walk past you the first
Yeah.
time. I'm going to walk past you again.
What do you
and
think
then do
now?
that 3 more times after that.
Yeah.
And then you'll have tested all 5 frames. And by the end, they're going to be really annoyed with you.
Or you've made a friend for life.
Yeah, one of 2 things will happen. Either they'll get increasingly annoyed with you, and you'll have to control for the effects of their annoyance on their negative opinion about the time they get to the 5th frame, or they'll be good friends with you by then, and you'll have to control
The other
for their
way.
increasing sympathy by the time they get to your 5th frame. So just be careful when you run this experiment and make sure that you're getting the most honest feedback possible. You can get that. You can start yourself on that weird road by going to warbyparkertrial.com/thumbs for that 5-day free home try-on.
warbyparkertrial.com/thumbs.
Yeah, isn't
They're
that fun
taking
to
the
say?
hobbits to Isengard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
warbyparkertrial.com/thumbs.
Stick them in a stew. Stick us in a stew. We're done. Basically, if we had a lazy Susan that could support the weight of a person, we have a green screen and we could totally make a true ass Violator. But I don't think that we because the crucial thing to me to
Is the rotation?
if you have a person who just is standing still and spinning, then you can
Sure,
just sort
with
of
the
take,
arms crossed?
Yeah, then you can just sort
Yeah.
of take the
Well,
camera and go
I mean,
fly past them and then hold it still.
You can just do waist up and just kind
Oh, that's not the same. The true Violator is like the tiny.
There's a lot of violators that don't have someone rotating. I mean, you can.
But
that's
it's
a bad excuse.
It's
You could
so boring. I know. You could just walk
Yeah,
out
I mean,
across your arms.
Yeah, that's a classic violator.
Yeah.
Well, what are we talking about next?
Unprestigious award.
Precious award. Prestigious award.
You laugh about this, and yet I have dreams exactly like this. I do. It's terrifying. I wake up and I'm like, oh God, I lived a whole life inside that studio. My brain just now.
Maybe this is a dream.
It fucking may as well be.
Maybe this is a nightmare.
Stupid wish.
I'm half awake. I could be.
The last thing that Chris says before you wake up is it's genie time.
Yeah, and then I wake up and it's 11:11.
Vajazzercise says.
That's not a. We can't talk about vajazz.
That's the username.
That's the username, not
They
the
say,
topic.
pro tip, make your own Violator by putting a cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan on a train set. That's true.
That's a really good violator.
Yeah, that's just like a budget, but also well recognizable Violator.
Yeah.
With the important if true home Violator kit.
Well, you sell someone a green screen and a Michael Jordan cutout?
Yeah, and a train.
All right, are we doing it? Are we going?
Yeah.
Get
Oh
ready,
God.
assholes.
It's not good.
Why?
It's not a good one.
Why do we record
No one said it was a good one.
podcasts?
I don't even.
Holy hell!
You're,
I'm so tired. All right.
Get ready to be blown away.
That was my Howard Dean's, like classic Howard Dean.
That was good. All right, are we back?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I heard we were.
Yeah.
I heard we weren't, but it turns out we are.
You hear a lot of things these days, Chris.
You do hear a lot of things these days. One of the things I heard, Jake may know more about this than I do, but There was an incredible article that I think was sent to us by a reader.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We didn't record who it was, so I apologize if it was you.
It was actually I first thought on the Out of Thumbs forums. But
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So many episodes ago,
Yeah.
on this very podcast, we
One
told
of our first few episodes,
yeah,
I think.
somewhere in the top 5 important of truths, we talked about a talk by someone named Brian Lunduke who talked about the Internet of Things, your toaster, your refrigerator, light bulbs, whatever, that are increasingly
Hooked up to
online
the
and
World Wide Web.
use the internet to be able to let you turn them on and off from your phone, and about how those basically need computational power.
Do
and
people still say information superhighway?
but he said that if you look at all the computational power of those plus the growth that was expected for Internet of Things devices, by the year 2025 they would have the computational power of 45 human brains.
Right.
Yeah, and we talked about which human brains, who are they, and then we sort of started naming possible
Candidates
for
these
the human brains,
45 brains.
which actually are cataloged on 45brains.online.
Mm-hmm.
So
Real website maintained by a listener.
yes.
So with that in mind, 45 brains, this is an article from Reuters. Archaeologists excavating a mass grave from Spain's 1936 to 1939 Civil War have found the naturally preserved brains of 45 people, 8 decades after they were shot and buried on a hillside in the northern province of Burgos. Eesh. That's grim. Spain has hundreds of mass graves from the war. God, I forgot how dark this was. And from ensuing decades of dictatorship under Francisco Franco. Few have been dug up due to a lack of funding and Spain's pact of forgetting on its return to democracy in the 1970s. The brains from some of the bodies in the grave were preserved by very specific environmental conditions after heavy rains seeped into bullet holes in their skulls. This saponification process turned them into a soap-like substance. A preserved heart has also been unearthed, an unprecedented finding, says forensic scientist Fernando Cerula, who worked on the dig and has published a study with details of the discovery. Naturally preserved brains are very rare, Cerula said. There are only about 100 documented cases in the world. If only those brains could tell of what happened there, said the grandson of one of the brains.
What? That's not the list.
That's true. That's a true fact.
He said that?
Yes. That was a descendant of one of these brains.
God, that is such an ambiguous sentence.
Yeah, it does sound like.
I mean, I'm just saying what I'm just.
That's what Reuters says. Reputable international wire service.
I might have massaged the specific wording of the sentence, but I stand by the accuracy of what was stated.
I really like the just potential and probably real implications of the fact that 45 brains were
Perfectly preserved.
discovered perfectly preserved in a mass grave from the Spanish Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That implies basically like an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation took place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just we've discovered the end of the really sad arc of the 45 brains that control and advise the entirety of existence, that somehow they decided that they had to go back and stop something at the Spanish Civil War, and it went real badly.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Yeah.
Those brains have turned into a soap-like substance. Only one of their grandsons survives.
If only those brains could tell of what happened here. I mean,
It's actually like a fatal loop now. It's
It
like a
is.
cyclical
No,
loop.
you're
Oh,
right,
yeah,
you're
no.
right. 'Cause
We're gonna
part of
create them again.
Part of the lore of the 45 brains is that they were attempting, they are attempting to guide us. They are attempting to put humanity on the right track and help us sort of realize our potential and avert our own
but it's not
catastrophes at our own hand. And yet we ignored
Well,
them
do you think
at every turn. And if only those brains...
If only we knew now.
If only we could listen to those brains.
If only those brains could tell us how they got there.
Yeah.
They would say, well, this now paints a really tragic picture of these 45 brains, because they, having been created from the Internet of Things initially before they became sentient, and also then able to transcend space and time and become whatever fucking Commander Sisko from Deep Space Nine and whoever else they all are.
Yeah.
I think one of them was the St. Elsewhere kid.
Tommy Westfall.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yep. Snagglepuss was in there.
Yeah. Whatever. There's
Sure.
a lot of them, but
yeah.
they have to know that maybe they don't know that they're the 45 brains that turned to soap found in the Spanish Civil War. Maybe that's just
Well, they only have the
doomed to-
maybe
intelligence
it's
of
like
human
it's
brains.
like a 12 monkeys situation.
Yeah.
where they have the information,
totally
and then
is.
by the time they can report it, they're fucked, and it's just sort of this sort of
Yeah, it's a tragic loop.
it's a tragic loop.
Yeah,
One
Yeah.
of the classic time travel varieties, the tragic loop.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
It's too bad, but I'm glad to know that these 45 brains are at peace, slowly turning to soap
Yeah,
in a lab.
yeah. Where are we now in this tragic loop timeline?
Well, the brains haven't been created yet or formed, right?
As of right now?
Yeah, the
I guess-
brains are being formed right now.
well, yeah, not all of
Oh.
them.
Chris,
I mean.
we have 3 Philips Hue light bulbs in this very studio.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I see. So
Yeah.
basically, when the brains come online in 2025 or
Yeah.
whatever it is, God, this is actually a very complicated.
Yeah, that's a piece of
timeline.
garbage we've spun together. Yes.
Yeah.
because we have
Well-
we have characters like Snagglepuss and the Deep Space Nine guy and
Yeah.
like the robot coffee barista or whatever.
yeah.
But the brains are still being formed and
Yeah.
will not be complete until 2025. But also they're already.
I feel like
solidified.
they achieve some sort of high enough level of sentience that
They just exist
they-
in all timelines.
Yeah, they just-
But also are always doomed.
But they only have the intelligence of human brains, though. So you gotta realize that they're not.
Yeah, I
gonna
guess
be-
that was the fatal flaw. of
That's
the science
part of the problem.
They're just normal idiots.
The really dark side of this, though, is to know that if they clearly don't know because they go back in time and they complete the loop, they don't know what happens to them in the past. But we're talking about it right now on this podcast, which means that at some point in this loop, all record of us and this podcast and everything must be
I don't know,
wiped
I mean,
I
out.
just realized we already fucked it up because there's like 3 Philips Hue light bulbs right above us,
Oh,
and
you
they can
think they're-
hear us.
Well, right. I
saying
mean,
all
so
this
we're
shit. So
we're
now
just
they know.
it is just now. We've all seen 12 Monkeys and Blade Runner and whatever the fuck else. Any movie where someone uses a computer that has a big Fresnel lens in front of it. This
Sure.
information will degrade and someone will get a little sort of choice morsel hint out of it and they won't know what it means until literally the most
Sure.
tragic moment possible. And then they go and they turn into soap. Like, that's just it. The story itself is also just fascinating. You should go look at it and look at the gross picture. It looks like a miniaturized brain. It looks like a novelty soap brain that you would buy in a like Spencer's or something.
Sure, like actual soap.
Yeah, it just looks like a
intentionally.
little set of gloved
Yeah.
hands holding a tiny brown shriveled tiny brain, but
Yeah.
but to the point that it looks like it would be like manufactured.
Do you think you could Jurassic Park that thing somehow? You know,
Probably, theoretically.
yeah.
You could grow a new Commander Cisco out of that brain. They're going to be so fucking confused when they try to extract the DNA and clone that brain and they get a fictional character from a 1980s TV show. God, they're not going to know what to do when a robot arm grows out of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be real messed up.
Was Deep Space Nine the 80s?
No,
No,
Sand
Oh,
Hills
you
Way.
mean Tommy Westfall?
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully they can just extract all of those and figure them out because we've only named like 7 of these 45 brains, even
Yeah.
though we claimed we were going to name all of
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
like,
no, hopefully
we'll
someone
leave it
does
up to
this
the
and
Spanish. We'll leave it to Spanish scientists.
Hopefully, whatever scientists miraculously reconstitute fully functioning human beings from these brains. Hopefully, they remember to go to 45brains.online and submit the names of the remaining 38 human brains. Hopefully, as good scientists, they take
Yeah.
responsibility for this with this crucial.
They
bit.
publish.
Yeah, hopefully they
Hopefully they publish.
Hopefully they publish.
Yeah.
At the peer-reviewed 45brains.online.
Mm-hmm. What's next?
What's next? I don't know. This is relevant. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
We're already there.
A concerned citizen writes, I've noticed every time the show begins, one of you makes some comment like, "This is the last episode." It's starting to make me imagine you're all under duress with a producer somewhere holding your families every week, threatening you to do another episode. But this is the last one you have to do. Every week they come back and start the whole thing over. Was the joke about the Mars game show secretly a cry for help? Are you trying to hint at the fact that you're trapped in the recording studio and need funding to get out? Has a Quip executive stuck you in an underground bunker churning out content so there's a reason for their ad each week? Signed, a concerned citizen.
I think we're stuck in a fatal time loop.
I think we are. I think
Everyone
that's
should
exactly
turn back
right.
time.
This was actually more
Yeah.
appropriate, more even more fitting than I imagined when I started reading it. Yeah, I think we're basically 3 soap brains trapped in a podcast studio forever.
Please wash your body with us. Make it erode us away. Please swish us down the drain along with your own dirt and oils.
Jesus.
Is that our ad read?
Let's have a
Try Swish.
Soap.com.
45 brains or whatever.
Yeah.
Paid for by the Soap Board of America.
The soap board is probably big fans of Snipes and Violators.
Probably. I don't quite get where you're going with that, but
Nowhere. That was just shut up, Chris. It's like midnight.
it is. It's really late. Where it's like midnight and we're basically degrading, saponifying into soap.
3 of the brains found were not part of the enlightened. There were 3 additional
They found
brains.
48 brains. 3 of the 3 were immediately discarded as worthless.
3 were thrown away.
Thank goodness these brains couldn't talk.
Yeah. No, they could talk. We just made sure they couldn't.
Son of,
Hoisted, he said. He was also
Yeah.
thrown away.
Jesse Fuchs writes, this is a very visual email, but I will try to do it justice.
It's a very describable email, I
Jesse
think.
Fuchs writes, what is the least prestigious award you've ever received? Best, and then it is signed with an amazing photograph of what looks like essentially a kind
like
of
a piece of
long,
construction
thin
paper?
certificate. Yeah, it's orange construction paper. And on the construction paper, there is a glitter outline, like a sort of glitter pen.
Like it's like glue
Drawing.
and glitter. Like
Yeah.
it's like Elmer's glue drew this.
Yes, of Pac-Man eating 3 dots and then a Pac-Man ghost, all written with this like Elmer's glue plus glitter, and then the caption also in
it says
glitter.
Pac-Van.
Pac-Van. Yes, and then in ballpoint pen is written
Very small off to the
very
side.
small off to the right, Jesse Fuchs, quietest van rider. Which is definitely an
Yeah.
excellent, unprestigious award.
It's really, really good.
Highly, highly approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I can top that, but I did receive a very unprestigious award as a child.
Oh yeah.
This is different than the very prestigious Laureate Award you won
Oh, yes.
for
Laureate
Jurassic
Award.
Jurassic
For
Kanji.
Hang-
Yeah.
Jurassic,
Yeah.
Jurassic Hang.
Right.
Jurassic Kanji.
This one was well deserved.
The unprestigious award.
The unprestigious award was very it's exactly what I deserved. I was signed up by my mother. I think I must have been 3 or 4 years old to be in a bowling league.
How do you know so much about yourself at age 3? It's crazy to me.
I remember this. I vividly remember going to this
amazing.
weird bowling alley.
Yeah.
And I went there. I remember this vividly. I remember assuming that everyone was going to be terrible because you're like 4 years old and it's bowling, which seems like a relatively it's not just like throwing a ball. Like you've got to actually like do something. And so I get there.
How do you bowl at age 3?
I don't know.
Were there bumpers?
Do you have like a wiffle ball?
So
what are you doing?
They started out with the bumpers. And then they
sure.
removed the bumpers.
For a 3-year-old, this is amazing. I need to see video of
They removed the bumpers.
3-year-olds
Maybe
doing this.
Maybe I was like 5. I don't know. It was very
Was this-
young.
okay, so was
very
this-
young.
Was this like a beauty pageant culture thing? Like, were you dressed up in like full 55-year-old man bowling
I had
attire, but a baby?
I had my own
Yeah.
ball with
Yeah,
a
just like
little
a tiny
case, with the
bowling
little
bag
case,
and like a little like
slicked back hair
Yeah.
and like a cigar.
like a little joke cigar. You have like
Yeah.
a decorative
Yeah.
huge mustache
Right.
that was
Yeah.
like very well
and, you've got
coiffed.
it- and your team name on the back.
Yeah, on a
Uh-huh.
silk
Yeah.
shirt, but it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
a little baby joke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like that.
And people were supposed to be like really attracted to you, but not actually because you're a child.
right.
Your shirt says tot stuff on it. or
Yeah.
something.
Oh god. Yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was going to be this very like slow, gradual, like ramping up into real
No,
bowling.
you didn't.
I did.
You had no thoughts that were coherent. Like,
That's
didn't-
not true.
You weren't a 3-year-old being, this will be a slow, gradual ramp into the.
No. I vividly remember this. I remember because I went
All
multiple weeks in a row, and the first week was great because it was just you got the bumpers.
Yeah.
And everything's fine. I'm just throwing the ball down the thing and it's bouncing off the bumpers and then
Sure.
stopping in the middle of the, and
Right.
just doing stupid things,
Yeah.
throwing balls on different alleys,
Yeah.
everybody's being an idiot. Like week 3 or 4, these kids were like that kid that you were describing. They were like actually good. They were chucking balls down and just getting
Wow.
strikes. And it was just, and I remember there was a moment where,
How about you? Were you?
well,
Okay.
I don't
all right.
remember the specific moment
Okay.
that happened, but there was definitely a week where I went back and all of the lanes didn't have bumpers except for mine. And then they did at the end of all of this league, this season of bowling, they had like an awards ceremony. And they do all of the awards, like coolest, but like most points, like
Right, sure.
whatever. And they
Best
get to me.
outfit.
Yeah.
They get to me, and it's the same trophy that everybody else got.
Yeah.
But my inscription says most improved, and most improved bowler in whatever baby league. And it was just, I do remember this, Chris.
Yeah.
I knew it was a lie. Like
Yeah,
I knew
right. You
that
knew
even
was
even that.
fundamentally
Yeah.
dishonest, even if technically accurate.
Yes, even if
You
technically
knew that
accurate, it was technically accurate. But I also knew
But
it was a
you
lie.
knew that the reason it was accurate
Right.
was because you were such fucking trash.
Yes, exactly.
You knew
Yeah.
that the baseline was so low.
Yeah.
That's when you knew you were a millennial.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's when your mom took you home and gave you some avocado toast
Mm-hmm.
as a consolation, as a reward.
Yeah.
As a reward for your incredible achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mom still has that award somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably.
So it was a physical trophy.
You got to get that
Oh,
award.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Into this room. That's got to sit there with Salacious
Yeah.
Crumb.
Yeah, I'm still waiting
All right.
on more of these childhood materials. You have such a trove of them.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe you actually got an award. You literally got a trophy
Yeah.
for being mediocre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave you like 4 more minutes than I thought I was going to, and you're still you're squeezing that stone. You're like, ugh.
Most minutes for boring story. Told story is what
yeah,
that
yeah,
podcast host, unprestigious award.
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever won an award.
You've won awards.
I did win a Power Wheels tractor in the raffle at the mall when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
I was the
that
kid who
reminds
actually
me.
won that thing. It was very
Wow.
nice. That's
Nice.
my Nick Brecken story, is that I'm the kid who won the Power Wheels tractor. Oh, that was actually
definitely
that was
wanted
the
one of
least
those.
prestigious thing to win in that, though,
Hmm.
because the other kids got like the sweet.
Jeeps
They
and
got the
the-
Jeep and the
yeah.
3-wheelers that can go fast. They have like a fast mode.
yeah, yeah,
Mine
yeah.
was the tractor, so I still won, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But it was like it literally just goes.
Yeah.
But it had a little trailer, which the really small kid could ride in. So they won
Yeah.
the most
Oh, that's
prestigious
cool.
award, was getting to ride in my Power Wheels tractor that I think then broke like within that same summer.
That reminds me that I had totally forgotten about this until you said that. But when I was 6, I remember I entered an Easter coloring contest held by our local supermarket. And it was like you had to.
Were you one of the crayon drawings of the Easter Bunny that was like covered
Yeah, I
all of the
don't-
windows of the store?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, what the scene was, but yeah, it was like, basically a page from a coloring book.
Yeah.
That everyone got the same one of, photocopied, and then you had to color it with crayons, and you turn it. And I won. I
Wow.
won the whole coloring contest, and I was so proud of myself. And I got like a huge basket that had a ton of like Easter candy and just stupid little garbage plastic toys and stuff in it. And I was so excited about it. I was so proud of myself. And then my mom, it's like 2 weeks later, like I was like so happy about this and I was like so into it. And 2 weeks later, she was like, that they just like picked a random entry out of a hat and you just won that, right?
Did you believe her?
Yeah, I still do. You don't think that's true?
I don't know. You're the person who believes that elevator and other crosswalk buttons don't work because someone told you they don't work.
So, wait, your interpretation of this
Wow.
is way bleaker.
Yeah, it's really
So
dark.
you believe that my mom lied to me just to make me feel worse.
No, I think that she probably read an article somewhere that says that Easter Bunny raffle coloring contests are randomly drawn, and then it's like there's just randomly drawn.
Oh, she just assumed. Yeah,
She just assumed
could
it
have
was
just
random.
assumed that it was random. Yeah.
I mean, that's still really a bummer for you that your mom would assume that it was random, as opposed to the fact that you received the least prestigious award of all, which is your mom assuming
Yeah.
your work was randomly selected, not that you were good at it.
Yeah, that was the point of my story.
It's really sad to me, Chris. This
well,
is like this.
This was a theme
This is a
for me,
downer.
certainly growing up, because I remember.
Anytime you did anything well, your mom told you that you were randomly selected.
Well, no. But it was so much that, like, I mean, the point was that I didn't particularly do anything well. I just did something at all and was rewarded for no real reason. But I remember that for my parents' anniversary one year, I made them this gift out of like wine corks, because my parents had they must have had some phase where they were into collecting wine corks, and they were in a bit. Is that?
Yeah.
That seems like a
that's
They also
a thing.
collected like matchbooks from restaurants, which just seems like
Sure.
for parents who came of age in like the 70s, these must have just been things. And so
God,
we
I
had
just remember that my parents' matchbook collection, which they had from the 70s,
Yeah.
was inside a giant... God, as a kid, I didn't think anything of this, but now it is amazing. It was inside a giant replica Miller Lite can. I think that might still be up in their attic. Oh my God, that's such a good thing for them to have.
Yeah.
God damn it, a giant fake Miller Lite can full of matchbooks from probably like Berkeley bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully your parents told you that they only thought that was the best gift because it was randomly selected of their children.
Well, no. So the gift was we had just these corks in our house, and I made something that I was probably I would have been 5 based on where we were living at the time, and I made them an anniversary gift that I must have, in my sort of 5-year-old brain, I must have had some kind of like intent behind it or like idea about what it meant or something, but I have no clue now. I basically took a bunch of like twine or yarn or string or something and like connected a bunch of corks together.
Clues.
Yeah, I plotted my conspiracy theory. No, I just I connected like pairs of corks together.
Okay.
I don't know if they were supposed to symbolize like a marriage or something. I don't
okay.
actually know. I don't remember at all. And I made this thing, and it was this like weird contraption that I made. I was 5, whatever. And I gave it to my parents. And I remember they were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's a present for you." And they were like, "This is nothing. This is not anything. Like, why did you make this? This is a terrible gift." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they were like, "Yeah." And that was it.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
So I definitely remember multiple times my creative efforts being sharply rebuffed by my parents. Definitely the opposite of your your most improved.
Yeah.
God, I need to get you a couple trophies, Chris, to sort of boost your morale.
You can give him mine. Tamp down on mine.
Yeah. Shall we endorse?
Oh yes.
It is really late right now, and we have to get out of here because we are flagging. I'll go first, I guess. The thing I am going to endorse is a free game that you can play in your internet browser.
Ooh, online.
Online. It's by a guy named Frank Lantz, who is a really interesting game designer who he years ago made a game called Chain Factor, which was a tie-in to that TV show Numbers.
Yeah.
And then it was retitled Drop 7 when it was released on mobile, and it was a very widely played
one of the best
mobile games. Yeah, it's
mobile
it's
sort of falling item puzzle games.
Yeah, it's a brilliant design. He just the other day, I think yesterday or the day before, out of nowhere, just posted a link to this bizarre little web game that he made that doesn't that it has very little explanation. And if you go to decisionproblem.com/paperclips, that is decisionproblem.com/paperclips, there's this game called, I guess the name of it is Universal Paperclips.
Mm-hmm.
The premise is that you are an AI whose sole job is to create and sell paperclips. And so it's this very simple, starts off anyway, as a very simple kind of supply and demand based economic simulator where you set the price of paperclips and manufacture them. And it's very, very, very simple. And then the more you play and the more paper clips you make and the more money you make and the more stuff you do, the more it opens up and the more other things you can build. And the reason I am
Is that so it's a candy box?
yeah, it's kind of like it's
Or one
sort
of
of one
those?
of these weird genres of web-based games that
web-based
start off
clickers?
very
Yeah.
simple and then turn into something bizarre and sprawling and strange. And the reason that I feel it is relevant to this show is that, well, one, the subject matter is very relevant. You are a paperclip making, single-minded paperclip creating AI, but it turns into this weird, like, all-consuming effort where this AI with it has a very simple purpose. Just the more you go, the bigger your purpose becomes in just like a strange sort of capitalistic, existentially dominating way. It's very strange, but very good, and it will make you hate yourself, and it'll make you obsessed with it, and a disaster. Decisionproblem.com/paperclips. It's a weird, interesting thing by Frank Lance.
All right.
Yeah. Jake, what do you got?
I got a big yawn. Man, I'm actually starting to fall asleep. Not good. Hey, so
Hey.
what I want to endorse is an art project that my friend sent me. My friend who's really into dollhouse making sent me this photo album on Flickr called Barbie Trashes Her Dream House by someone named Carrie Becker. And it is probably the most incredible Barbie scale environments that you will ever see. She is someone who makes like dollhouses at Barbie scale out of Barbie parts, and she started watching Hoarders and said, I wonder what Barbie's dream house would look like as
Oh my God.
depicted in Hoarders. So like this,
Wow.
these are Barbie scale sets.
Wow. If you'd showed me that without any context, I would have assumed this was a real
Yeah,
place.
it's this crazy rendition of
Wow.
it's just
Wow, that is
It's,
impressive.
it's like a combination. Like most of the furniture, I think, is actual Barbie props that were then like refinished really
Yeah,
professionally.
definitely
So like
painted and,
a
yeah.
pink plastic table was sort of turned into an actual like hardwood looking one. But
Mm-hmm.
then like one of the rooms is like what used to be a really nice library, but now is just full of just trash and books. And the books are all apparently like tiny pieces of foam core with covers that she scanned, scaled down, printed out, and then adhered. So like all of this stuff is just. Yeah, either completely custom made props or Barbie stuff, and it's just like the kitchen that is just covered in dirt, and then just hundreds of sets of Barbie dishware. It's a really good photo set. Anyway, it's a very specific small thing on the internet, but I think your mind will be slightly destroyed when you go look at it. It's just
Yeah.
if you search for Barbie trashes her dream house, you can find it.
That's also a very good name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Good.
crazy.
Good. Weird pull.
Yeah.
yeah. It's from like 2012, but
Oh, okay.
my friend sent it to me just a couple weeks ago because she knew about it from Dollhouse
Sure.
community people.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll put that in the description. Nick, what is your endorsement?
It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich. Of course it is.
Well, I figured that, I endorsed the most simple, basic sandwich you can possibly endorse.
Yeah.
And so I should endorse something a little more involved. This is a sandwich. I am obsessed with this sandwich. I was obsessed with this sandwich. Now it is just literally something I can basically like whip up in like 5 minutes, and it's so delicious.
If you
It's
say peanut butter and jelly, you are fucking off this podcast.
ham salad. No, it's
Ham salad.
Oh, you didn't enjoy ham salad as a kid?
I don't even know what ham salad
Oh,
is.
it's
I've
so
never
good.
heard of ham
Oh my
salad.
god. Anyway, Jake's feeling the hours. I will very quickly
We
endorse
can
this
put a
sandwich.
pin in the ham salad.
Yeah.
Is that how you make it?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Like cloves?
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
It's a sandwich. It's not a recipe I invented, obviously. It's a sandwich from a restaurant in L.A. It's the most L.A. goddamn thing in the world because it's a restaurant called Egg Slut. But, yeah, right.
Good one, LA.
But it's apparently a really good restaurant, and the chef is very notable now. But it's a fucking delicious sandwich. And it's actually very simple, but it's things that I wouldn't think to do. So it's scrambled eggs, and like I've been obsessed with making scrambled eggs for the last year or two, and the sort of method that this sandwich requires is one that I think is like the perfect one. Like I think I've locked in my perfect scrambled eggs now because it's not too long. It's a lot of butter, chives. It's so good, but it's a sandwich that's basically on a roll, and you make scrambled eggs with butter and chives. and then you do a sriracha mayo, which like isn't something I would normally put on a breakfast sandwich or even consume that often in general. But in combination with the eggs, and then you take just a regular ass slice of American cheese and sort of melt it slowly over a nonstick pan and then drape it over the eggs so that it holds the eggs together in the sandwich. And then you have this like sriracha mayo with just like really, really rich eggs and cheese. Oh my God. And you can put bacon on it or whatever, but like it's a sandwich that it's like 2 steps beyond what you'd normally make for breakfast. But when you learn how to make it, you can make it super quickly. And so I just buy like chives and eggs every week and just make the sandwich every couple of days. It's so tasty.
What's it
it's
called?
Unbelievable. It's
so
called the
healthy.
Fairfax.
The
It
Fairfax.
actually, for certain diets, it is healthy.
Okay.
No, it is.
All right.
It is.
It's just bread and cheese and an egg.
yeah.
Mayonnaise.
It's protein and
for
fat.
some and for some diets, it is literally 100% inedible. So
It's carbs and fat.
Your mileage
Like,
may vary.
Just the bread part, maybe.
I
Anyway,
didn't
whatever.
mean to say what I said. I
Okay,
did.
all right,
I
okay.
did mean it. I really meant it.
All right. That does sound good, though.
Yeah, it
Oh,
really
man.
sounds
It's called the
delicious.
Fairfax.
It's simple.
Do you have a
and-
recipe you can link to?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Okay, well, that is some may claim a podcast.
Some
Thank
amazing
you.
content.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Important If True. It was probably apparent, but we were very tired and it is very late. Thank you for sticking with us if you've made it this far. Our website is importantiftrue.com, and there you can find all the places that we reside on the internet. And if you have a question, if there is a problem in your life with which you need
Yes,
our
if you-
assistance or help,
Advice needed.
advice needed, you can send it to questions@importantiftrue.com, and we will do our best. Hopefully better rested in the future, but that is questions@importantiftrue.com. Please send in your questions. And we will be back next week with more of whatever this is.
It's a fever dream in this.
With
trapped
another
in
one
this
of these
room.
fever dreams. For Idle Thumbs, I am Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Brecken.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
Please stay spicy. Hidden dangers, to which nobody has a response. Unprestigious award, to which Nick has a response. Violators, talk about violators.
Talk about
We
violence.
got Wish Wars.
Why?
No, that's in.
Boo! Wish Wars, boo! I don't like that topic.
We got Musical Road
I'll now talk
follow-up.
about how I don't like it.
We got 45 Brains. By the way, basically none of these have first responders.
No, yeah,
so
we're winging it hard.
we have Forgetting Stuff. These are holdovers. Forgetting Stuff, Reality Show Hoodwink, Headless Robotic Cat Pillow. How is that a holdover?
Because I threw it out of the episode. No one had anything to say about it.
Oh, well, that's also true for all the ones that are in the episode. Ugh. This is a nightmare. But there was one that was like, you guys always joke about how it's the last episode of the podcast.
Well, that's the one that, yeah, it's the bottom.
that's gone
It's
now.
always at the bottom.
Oh, no, it is. What are we hiding?
What are we hiding? It
That's a
turns
good
out we're not
fucking
hiding
question.
anything.